To all of those who loved him, all of us who still look for the black number 3 in the field, if you look real hard, they say you can still see him there. If you listen with us to the following song, well, perhaps you just might feel him here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, here to remember Dale Earnhardt,
TC and Jake.
I know I've asked you this, but what was the song?
I can't believe you don't know.
Was it Kid Rock?
No. Much better. I mean, that would not properly remember Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I don't know.
What would remember Dale Earnhardt Jr. better than Garth Brooks' The Dance?
Not. You probably wish you would have been. I made this joke the first time. Wish you would have been standing outside the fire.
No.
That was, I think I did that 7 years ago.
He's
when I
just
first
looking
asked this
back
question.
on all the things that Dale had done.
So we dance.
That's right. I'm just excited to podcast with you today, Jake. I'm feeling good, and there's a simple reason why. Catholics back on top. We got the White House back.
Explain.
Catholics having the White House? The person who occupies the White House is Catholic.
Donald Trump?
No.
If I were to call there right now
And then
and ask to speak to Donald, they would say yes. If I asked to speak to Joseph, they would say no.
I
don't know if this is a great week for you to be touting your Catholicism.
And then if you
all the news about your religion ain't been good news.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think there was a scandal.
Like, you sure you're not just thinking about the Boy Scouts?
No, I thought there was more. I only really know what's going on in Catholicism based on...
Liz Brunig wrote some Theodore McCarrick articles like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it wasn't like new news. It's bad. I'm not saying like things are great, but...
That's probably what I was thinking.
That we had a pederast a couple of years ago is not like I think we're going to live. But I would just tell you to go to that White House, maybe climb up to the top, look right across the street. What do I see? A Supreme Court, also packed with Catholics.
I don't know that you want to tell
number one religion.
Amy Chili Coney Barrett. Number one religion? All right, Borat.
Maybe you, with your leftist identity politics, don't want to tout stuff like that. But me, someone whose primary issue is my deeply held religion.
Oh, my gosh.
I just look around, and I see everything's coming up Catholics.
Looking down at the board and seeing nothing but good Catholic things.
That's right.
I mean,
we said, you know what? You can strike us down, put a bullet through our head, but at least 60, 70 years later, we will be back.
I don't know.
You can't hold us down forever.
So first thing,
Catholics back on top.
Your
Catholics back
the
on
justice,
top.
and maybe this was all part of some deviant plot. I would not put that beyond the church.
We've had to plot our time or two.
So maybe you're going to try to tell me that the Rose Garden super spreader event was all some sort of like planned thing to advance the policy ideas.
A regrettable episode.
And then maybe you're also, again, I know we talked about this, but you're going to tell me that...
We went to confession.
Then sending a strongly worded email after all the students just did the exact same thing that you did a couple weeks ago.
I understand, and like he looks like an idiot. And I don't know if you... was the 1:30 News following the no confidence vote?
No.
The faculty senate brought forth a motion where like if it had gone badly for Father Jenkins, he would have been out. But
but it
did
feels
not,
like insult to injury.
It did not go badly.
Dude, shouldn't you get to keep it if you...
It's because of what you're talking about. Like how is
PR?
the guy who's telling the students this is what we have to do for coronavirus going to be the guy who caught the coronavirus because he's being an idiot?
Faculty senate.
I think that's what it was. Some kind of
I like it.
You know, if the teachers all tell you it's our opinion that you fucking blow.
But that would be
That's
more
hard for
like
you.
the faculty voters. I like the idea of like the faculty whip. You know,
Yeah.
like I've got a...
It's like the Star Wars prequels. That's kind of the setup.
That definitely short-circuited me when I was a kid. Like when those came out, I'm like, what do you mean the Senate?
They have a Senate?
I didn't really understand the concept of the Senate being applicable across governing. I think I just thought there was something about the fact that the United States, that's just the Senate, not this guy with 5 eyes.
I mean,
How could he
not
ever
a
do
ton
the
of
job
Senates.
Tom DeLay did?
Yeah. I wasn't phased at all. I actually took it all very coolly because I had read so many of the Expanded Universe books. So I was already pretty well familiar with how Coruscant worked and,
Jeez,
everything about the old Empire.
Yet, I asked you a
Old
couple
Republic.
weeks ago, I'm like, what's the deal with the Mandalorian? Because they were just beating us over the head with it in some Monday Night Football game, and you're like, I'm not really into it.
I've seen the first. No, that's not what I said. I said I've seen the first season.
Oh, so you're going to wait full season for 2? I know
Yeah,
that was
probably.
your Fargo plan, but...
I do like to do that. I prefer to be able to binge things, but also just, I've been very busy, Jake.
This Pew Research poll from last year says that a percentage of adults who say that sexual abuse and misconduct is, quote, more common among Catholic priests and bishops than among leaders in leaders in other religious traditions. 48% say more, 47% say equal.
So we've got 47% of people hoodwinked into thinking that other people do a similar
you hear about
amount.
This all the time. That's certainly why the stereotype is just about this one. Yeah, you got a split vote.
I'll take that.
You should stop the count.
Yeah. No, certainly. No, Jake,
My Catholic news was about the Pope liking that butt pic.
Liking the what?
So the Pope has an Instagram account.
Okay.
And
didn't know that.
He got fucking Ted Cruz, Corey chased.
Oh, no.
And to make matters worse, the Instagram...
certainly not the Pope.
But you're going to say it was certainly the cruise missile?
Yes, that's exactly right.
I mean, I tend to agree. But somebody who had access to his account and his 6 million followers, I'm sure, liked Now, I believe she was Argentinian, so maybe he had some history with her because he is, correct?
That sounds right.
I think he might have been the first one from there. I think she is either Brazilian or Argentinian, but...
Now that we have a Catholic president, when do we get an American Pope?
I feel like there was one at least that advanced to like the semis last time around. Because I remember listening to Francesa being like, they're going to get a new Pope. I think they got at least one guy in there from Jersey. He's a possible new Pope.
Why not Mike?
Why not Mike himself?
He's already known as the Pope.
So tell me what about this photo that Pope Frankie liked that jumps out to you that might make you think, okay, that might have actually been a photo that he would like. Would it possibly be the Catholic schoolgirl outfit?
Oh, no.
And if this photo were in full, you would just see her whole ass.
Yeah, I wish it was.
I mean, you could probably find it later.
And probably several other photos of girls' butts.
They say that the Vatican speaks to an independent source like the Catholic News Agency, and they said that, look, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to have an internal probe.
That's good.
Now, I understand.
Restore the confidence.
I understand that some of you appeared to be laughing just now when we said we were conducting an internal probe.
Very immature. Grow up.
Speaking of butts, I feel like we're in a porn shoot.
Because of the cameras?
Yeah, I mean, we now have quad camera. Like, this feels like what it's like.
Do you think they have? I mean, certainly some episodes they have multiple cameras, but yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we know it varies. Not an interesting question.
Do you think if you went to a shoot, like how long would you feel grossed out about like looking at adult content? A day? I don't think it's
like if I went
zero.
to a shoot and then like went home and was like back on the internet.
Because I bet it's pretty disgusting, dude. Like the amount of just
I bet it's hot.
fluids everywhere and the uncomfortable nature of it. I bet it's not hot at all.
Yeah, no, that August Ames and the butterfly effect, both of those, it did not make me enjoy porn more.
No, but it also didn't make you quit.
No, I mean, I think we all understand that that's not, am I going to quit breathing? Am I going to quit eating? These are biological functions. The answer is yes. I am going to quit eventually. We all die, Jake. That's kind of the main message of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just accept it. Everything gets easier after that. You know how many terrible things have happened in this world because people just didn't want to die.
But you've just laid out how religious you are, so you have nothing to be worried about.
That's true.
You just need to get to the end of January. Because this is the best shot you've had.
What?
I mean, I
of
know they've been
dying?
in an actual playoff, but this team is better than that team, right?
We'll see. I mean, like, if they win a championship, it's going to be by beating Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama 3 in a row. Do you think that's likely to happen?
And that'll be 2 against the Tigers, so
Yeah.
I don't know that it's likely to happen, but it would be a more impressive resume.
I mean, it would be one of the most impressive runs of all time. We agree on that.
And everybody wouldn't
They would
immediately...
have clearly earned their title.
Right, and we wouldn't have Manti jokes to make to sully it.
No. All of the players on this team either don't have girlfriends or who have girlfriends that's real. 100%.
Have girlfriends that's real.
Yes.
There's something childish about that.
No, it's just a good observation. No, I've been too busy to watch The Mandalorian, Jake, because I've been having a great time playing my PlayStation 5.
Is this you're asking me for money? I'm going to get you your money.
No, I trust the money will get there.
I'm going to get you your money. I mean, I thought you kind of gave me a little bit of an opening last time when you were like, I thought you said it had to wait till the transfer of power. And Kaylee told me today that ain't happening because there's nothing to transfer.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, no, whatever. If in fact, like Trump does declare martial law and himself as supreme dictator, I think that you being squirrely about whether or not you owe the money is going to be the least of my problems. I don't think that currency will be worth anything, so it'll be, kind of a moot point.
No, and you'll be imprisoned.
That's right. That's right.
With a debt to the U.S. federal government.
Yeah.
So how is it?
It's awesome. It's as awesome as you'd think. I'm really glad. So you definitely have some problems created by, like, it's backwards compatible with all the PlayStation 4 stuff, but I went Xbox last round of consoles. But I kind of like this idea of switching back and forth because there were plenty of PlayStation exclusive games that looked cool from afar that I couldn't really get into that now I'm catching up on. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, top of that list, a quality. And I'd never played Last of Us. I'm working through Last of Us. Now they have Last of Us 2 as well, as you surely know. And
is that the little phone
awesome
game where you got little characters and you run around a map and you're trying to figure out who killed who?
No, that's Among Us.
Oh.
Which looks fun.
I tried to play
yeah?
for like 10 minutes when one of Soroy's big to-dos, and I could not figure it out. Which was especially concerning because Norm could.
Yeah, you should feel that way about that.
But even once I had it like mildly figured out, I'm like, look, I just don't get it. I don't get why this is fun or entertaining. It doesn't seem anything approaching either.
Have you ever had fun before?
Yeah, I have. I just don't think it typically is going to happen on my phone.
I love stuff like that. I mean, just that style of game. I was just a big Mafia fan growing up. Did you ever play that?
I remember Mafia.
Not really a card game, but it involves cards.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the other thing, too, extremely underrated because everybody is so familiar. By the way, if you want her to go away, you're going to have to stop doing that.
I don't care if she's there or not.
I'm just letting you know. Everybody knows and talks about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade-style game.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember if that was 2 or 3. I think it was 2. But the first game they did, it looked kind of like how Among Us looks, and it was tight.
Yeah.
It was like an overhead, almost like, it looked like Zelda. But except you were a Ninja Turtle, which was super cool.
I remember
there was
that
a
for
map.
the outside. You were doing that. Then you would go down. It was a traditional side scroller.
But I like the varying views for those type of games.
Yeah.
That's what made it really cool.
That was
to me.
a cool Ninja Turtles.
Dude, I spent a lot of time with Zelda. I don't know that we've ever really talked about that. I was obsessed.
Never been a Zelda guy.
I loved it so much, man, because it was hard.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it. Is that it was like, this is extremely challenging for me. Whereas, I was just smoking people in every sports game I played. So, the fire was gone.
It was nice to have a little bit of a challenge. No, but it has blown my mind a little bit. And I mean, like, all of the features that I'm about to talk about are like widely mocked and hated by people who really paid close attention to these things. But I just miss a lot of the really dumb shit, or what I'm resigning and calling it dumb shit. I don't think it was dumb at all. I think it was great and awesome that Xbox One tried to do, and it kind of blows my mind that we're a generation later and that it still can't do it. Like Xbox One had the ability, like the voice control stuff was great, which like I don't even think that Xbox is trying. I don't know. Maybe they are on the new one or whatever, but I don't think so. I mean, like whenever they started making later ones, they wouldn't include the voice recognition thing with it. And like that stuff was great. The like picture in picture, like Xbox used to be able to like snap, like if you wanted to watch the Cowboys game while you're playing a video game, it would have the ability to do so. And I don't know, man, just stuff like that, like where it's more, they're not focusing on like making the games better, but they're making it like work as a something that's in your living room that like allows you to do the other things still there. I don't know. I
have no use for that. Even if I were in the gaming world, I would be like, what's the point of this? I think like 90% of the features that are included in products in general are a complete fucking waste of time.
Interesting take.
Yeah. I got that. There's one button you need on that microwave. But there are 10.
Yeah. Most of them are just numerals.
Yeah, but I mean, even if we get over into like broccoli/vegetable, well, broccoli is a vegetable, so didn't even really need to put that word on there, and I would never use this.
Yeah.
And what sort of dummy is reheating pizza in the microwave? I don't need a pizza button, and even if I was going to use a microwave for it, I have no idea how it would be different than just putting 1 minute. All you need is the 1 minute button.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But to hear the guy who doesn't know how to work his phone as well as Norm is like, I don't even know why they have these features.
Right.
That all checks out.
Well, you wouldn't want to watch a cowboy game while you're banging scrolls.
That's exactly what I wanted to do. Just kind of like keep it. Certainly the Bears game Monday night.
Jesus Christ, TC.
You think I should have had to devote my full attention to that?
No, I don't think it. I don't think it was deserving any.
Keeping track of the score, just having it up in the little corner, if that would have been sufficient.
Tyler Bray is still around?
Oh yeah.
I was stunned.
I mean, I was thinking about how great it would have been if he just fucking uncorked it.
What does he got to lose?
He just walks in there. Well, apparently by the look on his face, a lot. His bowels as a starting offer. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking awesome. Last of Us is great. That's my review. PlayStation 5 thumbs up. Oh yeah, and then the main reason I wanted to bring it up is just shout out to the incredibly nice man that sold me his for face value. Like he had ordered it, and I think kind of like once he made the purchase, was like, do I really need this? And then was like, I'll just give it to you for face if you want. And I said, I do. So I drove out.
So he didn't have a second one? He just wanted to get rid of the one he bought?
He had bought one. He said he was making a gaming PC. He was building one for himself. And he's like, I'm going to be using this mainly anyways. So I don't know why I did this. And said that he would be happy to part with it. And I drove out to Fort Worth, met him at his home, and we made the exchange. And I thank him very much.
I mean, obviously, I'd love to judge and put you down right now.
Yeah.
But
that's your default.
The Blake Lucas shoes thing.
It is the same thing.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Although he did have two. I find it odd that somebody made sure they were on the list to get a PS5 and then looked at it for a day and was like...
I didn't think that asking more questions was my was my route.
Running out.
Yeah, so... Yeah, especially I thought that I could really work the target system, and it was getting dicey. My confidence seemed misplaced. So. And
then you just roast a kid to get it on Twitter. You're like, look at this dumb kid. Give me the PS5, not him.
Yeah, I did.
For a tweet that was not sent to you, so you actively had to somehow...
No. Someone replied to it and said something about me. Like it ended up in my mentions. I don't follow Betsy. I'm sure she's a nice person. Maybe I should. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that, and then had another tweet just kind of like building on it in a fun way. That got like 7,000 replies of people who just didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot to them.
Twitter,
Really fun. Yeah, I know. I knew it'd be some. It's just there was exactly one person. And I mean, plenty of people liked it. I don't need the constant adoration,
Yeah.
Jake. It's okay. I'm
Right.
self-satisfied enough. I don't need all. But there's one guy who hopped in and was like, "I get it," and then 7,000 people are like, "Why are the socks mismatched?"
Yeah, I mean, those are two of the worst parts about Twitter. That one is at least like people just being assholes to be funny. But I've often thought that, and I don't know how this is if you work at a different place. I guess the first thing I would think of is if you work at like Barstool,
Mhm.
where there's a way more uniformity, I would say, among your audience. Are they constantly having 50% of if they try to say anything joking on Twitter that is obviously a joke, do half of their replies immediately just completely miss it?
I bet Barstool it's much higher a percentage.
You say that, but I think it's just a general more like
Just a
their
group of
audience is
slack-jawed
tighter.
idiots.
It's a tighter cluster of age, gender. Like for me, probably like half the people that see a tweet of mine are 50 or over, or at least 45 and they just
Yeah.
don't speak like the tinge of drill, dirtbaggy,
Yeah.
like sort of comedy that I can't even really explain.
Barstool, you're right. At least it's all 20-year-olds, but it's the dumbest 20-year-olds on the planet. I don't think that they have a real well-developed comedy sense. That's why they need Barstool.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but I still think that means that they can get dumb jokes. They
I
might
don't
not
know.
get good ones or not dumb ones, but still. I've just wondered what that life would be like one day if every single tweet didn't come with, "I never know what you're saying."
Well, brush up that resume, dude. Sky's the limit for you, in my opinion. Could you be in Nick Wright's shoes in 2 years? I think so.
Dude, the Nick Wright story is ridiculous.
Why not you?
Dude, because you know why I was reminded of this? Because I was just doing Googling
There's
on
something about it.
Tom Herman, on how much I hate Tom Herman.
Oh, yeah.
That was like
it.
2015.
Explain that whole thing.
So Tom Herman,
Because I don't think everyone remembers that.
it's muddy, and I think Herman might have been right, but Tom Herman, who I cannot stand, never have liked the guy.
You just hate what he's done to your horns.
I just don't think he deserved the job. I think he beat Florida State in a bowl game, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's definitely a massive upgrade."
I mean, lost one game over 2 years in Houston? 2 games?
Yeah, I mean they had a great record, but still, so did.
And I mean, he was Zeke's offensive coordinator.
That's true, but that was like what?
Everything he had done prior to taking over at Texas had been just unimaginable success.
I think you could say that about Charlie too, though. And it was like, this is a little too
No.
big for this guy,
No,
maybe. And I think it's too big for
Louisville.
Herman.
Had one good year. He was there for 3 seasons, and I think one of them was good.
Weren't
'cause
those Florida
Bridgewater got
defenses
there.
pretty good?
The Florida defenses were good, but I'm saying that his first couple Louisville teams sucked, and then he got a good quarterback and rode that to, a Sugar Bowl loss and left. At least Herman won his bowl game he made it to.
He had 2 good years in Louisville.
Okay.
But you're right. They went 11-2 one year and they actually won that Sugar Bowl. And then went 12-1 the next year.
Oh, did they?
Did not get in. The point is, I never thought it was like a huge upgrade and
Yeah, okay,
all right,
fuck me. I recall they win that.
It's whatever. I don't really care that much about Texas football, but I love that Tom Herman seems like a consummate butthead. And it was over Kyle Allen because Kyle Allen was transferring from Texas A&M. One of the hosts on some Houston radio station said on the air that he heard that Herman had met with Allen over the holiday break or something. And what ensued was a 20-minute phone call between a head coach at Houston and a local radio show, which was hosted by Nick Wright. He was one of the hosts on their midday show in Houston 5 years ago. And now
What time slot do you work?
I'm saying, if you go listen to this audio, if you are interested in just taking a hammer to your balls, it's 20 minutes of the host that's not Nick Wright and Tom Herman arguing over whether or not a phone call constitutes a meeting. That's who Tom Herman is. The pedantic, I'm never going to admit anything about this that might possibly be conceding.
Yeah, but like you said, Kind of looks like he's right.
I think
Is
he
the
was
phone
right. It was
call a
just
meeting?
not worth it.
If I had a phone call with you and I was like, you remember when we met last week? Would you not look at me like I had 3 heads?
I don't think it's as cut and dry as you're saying, but I get it. So do you think that if you have a Zoom call, people are like, oh, I had a meeting?
Yes. They call them Zoom meetings.
And for some reason, if you got a conference call, it's just like, oh, it was a conference call.
Yeah.
It wasn't a conference call meeting.
Or you wouldn't just call it a conference. You would call it a conference call.
But the point is, that's Tom Herman. He was yelling at Nick Wright, who was kind of just trying to hide during the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
And now he probably makes like $7-8 million a year.
And so can you, if you just follow Dr. Phil's system.
That was probably my favorite part of the Antonio Brown to Tom Brady connection, was that Tom had introduced AB to Tony Robbins.
Oh.
Like, oh, so now you want to burn your feet
You know
instead of freezing them.
you know who came out of the Tony Robbins thing that I didn't realize, but this is kind of his first big break, is Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Did he?
Yeah. Think he did security for him at some point or something like that.
Man, I don't remember what exactly it was.
Tony was like, got to get this guy on stage.
My stepmom, whenever my dad first started dating her, she was involved in some sort of seminar circuit thing. I don't think it was Tony Robbins, and I don't think all this shit existed before like 1990.
Frank T.J. Mackey.
I don't know any of the other ones to laugh enough.
That's Tom Cruise's character in Magnolia.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but you know that.
All right. I thought you'd made a Frank T.J. Mackey joke to me before in my life.
That's an oddly specific, incorrect memory.
I'm just saying. A lot of people know about it. It's an iconic character. Probably the best role of his life.
Hey, what the fuck's going on with Ken Paxton?
That's a great question, Jake. It
Do you
appears like he is breaking the law. Yeah, I have some idea.
But I mean, isn't like we've morphed to a point where like every single politician is being accused at some level of breaking the law by their opponent. Like it's not even breaking. Like this one seems to be sticking a little bit. But I mean, it's every day.
This isn't being accused by his opponent. This is being
like
accused by like his best work friends.
Oh.
Like his hand-picked number 2 and 3 in command is like, this looks distinct. Like I've been ignoring all of the other things that looked like law breaking, but this one I can't.
Beyond the pale.
Yeah, there's just there's a campaign donor who is a real estate developer that appears to be in some pretty deep shit, and Paxton has been like handing down rulings for no other purpose than using his office to make things easier for his campaign donor. And that's not how you're supposed to use government offices.
Well, it's so they say.
No,
as we've said for years, it's the only reason to get into politics. Skim.
The reason to get into politics is to help people.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
I just did.
Yeah, I know what you parlayed your campaign work into becoming a chicken sandwich reporter.
I did. But first off, I wanted to help people. The chicken sandwich thing was just, happy accident.
Yeah, I don't really have any idea what's happening with this story. I've been more focused on the Pope and the butt. Yeah. But it seems like, especially after we just mentioned Tom DeLay earlier, who I know is not an attorney general, but he was a crooked Texas politician
his
do real time.
People very senior in his office wrote a letter saying he's breaking the law. We saw him do it. We think it should stop. I think that he fired all of them or some of them and was like, no, I'm bulletproof. Come and get me. And yeah, now the FBI is investigating him. That's the new development. We found out, it's been out there for a couple weeks that his office, told people that he was doing these things. But the FBI, I don't know. I don't even really think it's that much of news, because whenever I saw it, I was like, if we have an FBI, then of course they're looking into this, and they don't usually announce beforehand that they're going to. So I think it was safe to assume that there's been an investigation going on. But yeah, now there's definitely an investigation going on.
Speaking of the FBI, how close have you kept up with this situation regarding the local music scene?
I don't know any of what you mean there.
Okay, well, we're gonna tread lightly here. So,
Okay, yeah. The shootings. Okay.
but yeah,
Is that what the most melodramatic tweet I've seen on that website?
dude.
Is Dallas is just falling apart? Is it crazy out there?
I just said, is it
guys?
turning into like street warfare?
Is it street warfare?
So, Dallas rapper Mo3
Uh-huh.
was killed on the freeway last week. Someone pulled
He
up.
was on the freeway?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought he was like at the. Well, anyways.
someone pulled up, and I don't exactly know how this happened,
Uh-huh.
but it would seem as if they probably like somehow blocked his car, possibly. I don't know, but somehow he ends up out at noon running on Stemmons
Okay.
and is shot while running.
So he's running across 35 and they shoot him.
Yeah, I think he was trying to run maybe towards the access road. I'm not sure, but he
Okay.
ends up killed. There's like long simmering back and forth.
Sounds
between...
like kind of a tough shot, to be honest.
It also sounds like something you wouldn't believe if you saw on this week's episode of 911.
Yeah.
You're gonna get shot at noon on Tuesday on a busy freeway,
like outside of his car.
Yeah. So I don't know how that happened.
I don't think I could. I couldn't make that shot.
Well, yeah, but you're not like called. You're not a
I don't think you could
trigger
make that
scope
shot.
guy. I don't know what any of that means. So
how's your shooting?
not good.
Yeah.
Shotgun guy. I love the shotgun. It's easy.
But if you're standing on 35 and he's running towards the access road, like I'm not saying that you're getting nothing in him, but
I am getting nothing.
you think you're getting nothing.
Might get somebody on accident,
Okay.
which also happened that day.
Yeah, I'm just
As a
saying.
bystander. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of like, these different sects of the local scene or whatever that have these issues with each other, those issues with each other.
And that's what made you clutch your pearls.
And this was public.
Where did you even get the pearls?
This was public on a public Instagram, but another rapper who may or may not have had some dispute with this guy, his Instagram story was him in traffic, like exiting on 35, being like, I wonder what's going on up there.
That seems suspicious, Jake.
Lil Boosie had a song with Mo3. Boosie
Okay.
comes up Friday night for Mo3's vigil. Shot
Boosie got shot.
in Dallas.
Here. How is that not news?
It is. I mean, it was on the news. He didn't die. I think he got shot in the leg and was in the hospital here
I
until
didn't
Sunday
hear
or
about it.
Monday.
I think an easy way to define what was and was not properly covered is just, did I hear about it or not? And I
Generally.
didn't hear about that one, so I feel like it should have been covered more.
But that's like a couple of different, and there's a whole other backstory to this. Like, it's really kind of weird when you realize, and I don't think it's entirely like a white-black thing, but I do think it is a different neighborhoods and pockets of the city. There's like an entire other like world of drama that you just do not see on like WFA news every night.
Sure.
Like a separate economy, separate seemingly meeting out of justice. And DPD reached out to the FBI, I think on maybe Monday.
And we're like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We can't keep Boosie safe. We can't be trusted.
We already have our own skyrocketing homemade murders.
Yeah.
Standard, vanilla, easy murders.
Yeah.
And now we've got some spicy murders.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have to call in the feds. Now, I don't know what that looks like. What a call in. You got to send a field officer down.
Take over the investigation.
But do they, they have an office here,
they're
right?
now,
So
yeah.
it's not like as cool as it seems on a show where some guy comes in with a briefcase.
They did not arrive by helicopter.
Right. And he's like, I'm in charge now.
Yeah. No. There's a Dallas office of the FBI. That's what Mulder and Scully worked out of in the beginning of X-Files: Fight the Future.
Did you once claim that you could have been pretty good at that job, or was that just investment banker?
I would have been one of the best FBI agents the world's ever seen. Maybe I still will be. Maybe I am now.
Maybe you are now.
That's more of a CIA thing. I think that FBI, by and large, they're okay saying I work for the FBI. CIA, they won't tell you. I've been listening to Chapo on their premium. They're running a retrospective on George H.W. Bush, just looking into the life and times of George H.W. Bush.
CIA 72 or 73, something like that.
Yeah, so he was the director of the CIA. But like, I don't know. I think that like it's pretty uncontroversial in my opinion to look at the circumstances and say he was an agent well before that.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before.
Like whenever you like they're general like it's an accepted fact that the way that the organization works and that Scorpions podcast, the Wind to Change, gets into this if anyone's interested. It's a good podcast. Available only on Spotify if you're looking for that podcast. It's on Spotify. It's called Wind of Change. But they like the normal way that they do things is that you don't like have a paycheck that says CIA on it.
Yeah.
Like you join the CIA, you train or whatever, and then like you're just like, well, I'm leaving now. I'll see you guys later. I'm actually going to go work at AT&T. But really you're still part of the CIA. Like you don't want, like it's just easier for people to get in and do that job if they're a VP for AT&T rather than, like wearing a badge that spy on it is going to really hamper your ability to perform your work. So Bush Sr. Founded a company called Zapata Oil in 1953, and the co-founder was someone who worked at the CIA until they were 27, and then were like, I am resigning of my own choice, and founding this company, Zapata Oil. We're going to buy a oil rig, and we're going to move it to the closest island to Cuba. Don't ask any questions. And then
pretty young.
They were on the Chapo thing. They were saying it as if like this is everyone knows this. It's not even surprising, but like I was surprised. So I'll tell you, the Bay of Pigs invasion. They had 2 boats. Would you like to know the code names of the boats?
Yes, I would. I was going to guess, but there's no way I'd even be close.
Houston and Barbara.
Hell yeah.
What's going on?
That's awesome.
What's another reason for them to be Houston and Barbara?
Yeah, don't even try to hide it.
If not for the guy who lives in Houston, whose wife is named Barbara, is involved in the operation.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like, I'm trying to think of what possibly he could have come up with that's more obvious.
Like the head of the CIA at the time was a fellow Skull and Bones member.
Okay.
Alan Dulles.
Of the airport?
I'm not
of the family
positive,
of the airport, probably.
Yeah, because
everything in America.
His brother was the Secretary of State, and I think that he generally had a higher profile. And Secretary of State gets things named after him. CIA director only gets like CIA buildings named after him.
I always think it's weird. I'm looking at his
John
list
Foster Dulles
of jobs here.
Is the Secretary of State? Yes,
and he was speaking of 41 here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a chance that whenever he was an ambassador for the United Nations or the liaison to the People's Republic of China, basically just a diplomat or ambassador, there's a chance that those are CIA roles as well. But in between, you're the chair of the RNC. You know how boring that sounds as opposed to like getting to be a spy in Beijing or really anywhere?
I'm sure he liked it.
Like, your job now is to book the Catholic canceled kid.
Yeah.
And to call Patricia McCloskey
I think that'd be fun.
The year before and the next year you got like a gun pin.
I would think that
doesn't sound fun at all. It sounds horrible.
Planning the convention is probably a pretty small part of what they're doing generally. I think that they're more trying. I mean, we just don't have that strong of party leadership as part of our system.
They're not meeting with caterers?
No, I don't think they're meeting with caterers. I think that they are hypothetically doing some amount of figuring out who's going to do what, what candidates are we going to run?
Okay.
Kind of thing. But
that doesn't sound as exciting as getting to pick out the drapes for behind the stage and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
but also both are less
know.
exciting than being a spy.
Yeah, that's true.
Boy, I bet if you're a spy, I bet you have to, for the rest of your life, you've got to trick up sexual relations more than the average person.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think normal life would ever do it for you again.
Mm-hmm.
Really, in any way. But I guess also, like, you have to lie about it.
I
So
mean,
it's
you
not
know,
even like you
probably
can,
your first couple months out, you'd have some relief. Like I could see, being like, that's a big weight off my shoulders. That's nice. But then, yeah,
I bet they don't live very long.
it's just like, for me, Jake, it's kind of that
Don't
the
do the
action
wilderness
is
thing.
the juice.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I'll take heat. I'll take Sizemore. I don't want to hear about the wilderness again.
oh. Well, that's to your detriment, dude. There's a lot of wisdom in that scene, and my analysis of it, and whether or not you want to have that wisdom in your life is your choice.
I hope I can get heat on the air. Armageddon didn't go well for me, but I feel like I had the support of the people.
Of course.
Like Trump.
Obviously.
I was talking to my dad the other day, and I called him around 3:30 after the show, and I was like, he answered. He's talking kind of quiet, and I said, "Where you at?" And he said, "Oh, I'm at the public library in Flower Mound."
Okay.
I said, "Well, why?"
Good question.
And he said, "Yeah, once a week, I've been coming up here with my my Wall Street Journal, my AARP, and my Texas Monthly, and I just go into one of these tiny little quiet study rooms they have, and I just read for 4 or 5 hours. Then I go across the street to Lifetime, and I swim for an hour, and then I go home and I drink beers." He's like, "This is my once a week."
That's perfect.
I know. And I was like, "Why can't you read it?" And then I thought, he's just like, it's just a lot of noise back there. And I was like, noise?
How many people? How many people live in
Pretty much just one.
house?
Pretty much just one other. He's like, "I don't know." He's like,
A lot of noise.
"Neighbor wants to come by and say hello. You got this person coming to the door, this person coming out to work on something."
He's right.
He's like, "I just don't want to deal with it."
When it was time for me to study, I didn't just sit in my room. Went to a quiet place in the library.
It just made me think, like, man, being retired must kick ass. If you can pull it off.
Yeah.
And you can actually do it in a way where you feel done. He was just like, "Yeah, it's my day." He's like,
if you got in like a decade of Nick Wright work, I think you'd be set.
a decade?
At most.
How about 2 years?
I mean,
You're telling me I could hand you $10 million and you make that work for you for the rest of your life if you invest it properly?
I could.
You absolutely could.
I had a
Anybody
friend,
could.
I had a friend who made a lot of money at one point and hasn't made much money recently. All by choice. No criticism here, but we were hanging out and he just said, if you make 300,000 in a year, it's like you made 100,000 in 3 years.
He's 100% correct.
He is right.
Now, obviously,
Maybe
you run
really
yourself
wanna
into a
make
little trouble
300,000 for a year.
with the budgeting. If you live up to the 300 for that first year, then you don't really get to just play the mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. And I guess if you do that for like 30 years, then you can buy yourself a few more of reading the AARP magazine at the local public library
That's
before
what
you
he's
go for a
reading?
swim and some beers.
That is wonderful. Would love to go for a swim. They got a heated pool at the 24-hour?
Probably. He goes to I would not personally get in most big gym pools or hot tubs, but
that's
that
too
one's
bad.
pretty premium.
Yeah.
And I haven't been back. I think we're actually going to do a little membership at the local rec up here for their pool. But even, there's a lot of kids in there, man. Like, I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
Piss, the like.
You know my stance.
Yeah, but there's probably a limit to where I do care. But there's also people who don't get in the lakes.
That's not me. Couldn't be.
It's
me.
extremely weird. No. All right, well, that's all I got. We're going to have 2 episodes this week, and tomorrow's has a guest.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably not make that Patreon because I want everyone to be able to experience this guest. So look forward to that.
All right, we'll see you.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow, for everyone who's been a part of this one,
I'm TC and Jake.
we do thank you for watching. Good night.